Hello. So this morning I woke up and had this great idea of doing a tutorial on how to use CIAN for English speakers. Now I hope that this tutorial will be helpful for you with some tips, even if you are a Russian speaker, to better use this great platform for finding a place to live in Moscow. My experience shows that if there is a property available for rent or sale in Moscow, that it will be on CIAN. It's very, very rare for there to be a property on the market that's not on this site. Now, of course, the first and very simple thing you'll notice is that the site is in Russian, and so that's what can be discouraging or intimidating if your Russian is still developing. So I recommend that you use Google Chrome, and when you're come to cian.ru, that's CIAN.ru, you can, in your Google Chrome, you right-click and click on Translate to English. And Google does its Google magic. Now, for the purposes of this illustration, I'm going to assume that you want to rent an apartment in Moscow. Now, here, you will see kind of a funny translation mistake. You have the option of buying or removing. Removing in this case means renting. And as you use the Google Translate, of course, there are little things that you'll chuckle about, but you should be able to get the main point as you go. And if you speak Russian, you understand how humorous the word remove is here. So if you're looking to rent an apartment or room in Moscow, then you just click on Start Search. And here we are on the main page for the search, where you're going to put in the specifications of what you're looking for. And we're going to translate to English again. Now, over here you have the number of rooms. And for our illustrative example here for this tutorial, we're going to say we're looking for a 3 or 4 room flat. Now remember, in Russia they give the total number of rooms, not the total number of bedrooms. So this would, a 3-room is a 2-bedroom, a 4-room is a 3-bedroom. Now let me take these down just for a second, show you that the total number of apartments available on CIAN today is 54,847. So we need to really boil that down, filter that down to maybe your top 3 or 4 options. So you can go and start looking at some places. So if we say 3 or 4 rooms, that moves it down to 19,682. So we're going to put in your budget. Now, I really encourage you to put a number in for the low amount of your budget. If you don't put a number in here, what will happen is you will have apartments pop up that are for 3,000 rubles, 4,000 rubles, but that's per day, and you'll end up getting just swamped with those options rather than really having something viable for a long-term rental situation, which is, I assume, what you're looking for. The cheapest flat in Moscow right now, at the time of the making of this video, for a 1-room is about 25,000 rubles. So at least put that amount in the lower amount, I would suggest. Now, for this illustrative example, we're going to say that your budget is 150,000 rubles a month, which is kind of a mid-range budget. And I suggest you do the lower amount, quite a bit lower than actually what you're looking for, because you'd be surprised how often the perfect flat is out there available for a lower price than what you're looking for. So let's just say we're looking for a 3 or 4 room flat from 100,000 rubles. Remember, our budget is actually 150, but we're going to look from 100 to 200,000 because we trust our bargaining skills, and also just to kind of know what's out there. And for a lot of folks, the Russian winters, of course, can be long and dark and cold, and so they're looking for a place with more light. So let's, as we look down at these other options here, let's say that we're looking for a place that's on the 3rd floor or higher. Now, for a lot of these other options here, I would suggest just not worrying about them, because I think a lot of times what happens is, particularly for higher budget options, you can work this out. You can make a deal with a landlord for furniture being taken in or out, and you can talk to them about how wonderful your children are, and they won't do artwork on the wallpaper and so on. So I usually leave that blank, at least for my first search. Now as we move down, right here, if you want to have a super specific search, you can actually, in Russian, in this space right here, you can write the address in Russian in, and it will tell you what's available in that specific building. But for this situation, we're going to say that you're looking for a flat at Prospect Mira, just because. You know, everyone has the reason for liking a certain place in Moscow. It might be because your work's nearby, it might be because your work's far away, it might be because your study's nearby or your children's school is nearby. So whatever the reason, you have your place in Moscow that you like. Maybe you just took a walk there once and really like the feel of the neighborhood, perhaps. So you want to decide how far you're willing to be away from there. So you don't want to do a metro transfer if you're going to work, so maybe you would want to stay on the same line. So you could do these other stops as well, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we're just going to do Prospect Mira, and it will give you all the options there. So we have 3 and 4 rooms from 100 to 200,000 at Prospect Mira, and this is showing us that there are 73 options that fall under that. You'll see in a minute that that's not actually true. But we've certainly boiled things down from 54,000. So you're going to want to click on this button down here on the left, and you'll begin to see what options are out there. Again, we'll hold on a second. We will translate this page once it's there. We go. And here we start having the options. Now, a lot of these options repeat themselves. It's the same flat again and again. That's why I'm saying that it's not actually 73 options here. So I'm going to teach you kind of how to make this search really efficient for yourself. And you're going to want to, you'll see here, it'll give you the basic information for each flat. So you're going to see, of course, the budget. You're going to see what floor it's on, the total square meters, its address, how many minutes by foot it is to the subway station, whether you will allow animals and children, and you'll see how many photos there are. Let's just pick one that has lots of photos because that's more fun. So we're going to go to this one. It's 3 bedroom, and it's I'm going to say it's actually 3 room. That's another translation thing. And let's click on it. It has 23 photos, and this will pull up. And let's decide together that looks exactly like what we're looking for. So we click on Go to Page Ads. Now, when the page ad opens up, I want you to carefully kind of look at all the information that's here. Sometimes it'll show that the apartment actually isn't ready quite yet, that it's only going to be available in a few weeks. So read this information before you get excited about the flat. Or it might say that it's looking for renters who have Slavic features. Now, perhaps you have Slavic features, but you might not want a landlord who is concerned about these kind of things. It might say that we are ready to make a deal. So that's the kind of thing you'd want to know before you went much farther into considering this. So you can, of course, look through the photos, decide if that's the kind of balcony you like, kind of an interesting looking balcony there with I don't know if those are real bricks or not, but we're quickly looking through the photos, kind of getting an idea if this is the kind of place we'd want to live. Now, one of the, I think, the best features on CIAN is if you don't go back to this page, the page before that we were on that had the list, but you scroll down to the map. And here on the bottom left part of the map, there is this button that says View Deals Nearby. And let's go look at that, because that's where CIAN really got it right. Now, this page you cannot translate, but I'll show you just really quickly. You put in the budget again. Yep, that says 200,000. And then here you're going to choose the number of rooms again. So we're looking for a 3 or 4 room, so that's what we choose here. And now we see which flats are available right in this neighborhood that kind of fit our specifications. Now, the green circles here show those are for 3 rooms, and then the 4 rooms are the pink. So you can see there's actually, it appears there's only 1 pink flat available in the neighborhood. Now the number is the number of flats that fit those specifications in that building. And quickly you'll see this building theoretically has 24 flats. That's not actually really true, and this is where I want to save you some time. You click on that, and you will see the number of rooms, the total number of square meters, the budget, which will always vary, and which floor it's on. Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that although the budget is kind of all over the map here, it's the 3-room, it's 140 square meters, it's on the 6th or 7th floor. We're probably talking about just one flat that is being offered actually by 24 agencies. So just for the purpose of this tutorial, let's kind of go through here. Let's pick the one that has 29 photos because we like looking at pictures. Now, as you go through these, you'll see that some, especially for this budget range, which is the mid-budget range, some of the commissions will say 0%. I looked at this flat actually earlier. A different agency was offering it for a 50% commission range. That's up to you. You know, you can go through it and kind of decide what you're comfortable with. But here it's saying 0% commission, so you wouldn't pay a commission if you did this yourself. And it's 160,000 rubles a month. And here's the phone number if you want to call the landlord's representative. Now, what I want to say is, if you choose to make that phone call, remember that this person who's going to answer the phone is the landlord's representative, meaning they work not for you, but they work for the landlord. So, you know, decide if this is something you want to do on your own, or you'd rather have someone represent you if you want to have your own agent representing you through the process before you make that phone call. At Expat Flat, we specialize in representing you throughout the process. So if you call this number and then you have 3 more phone numbers on your list, they're going to be all for different real estate agencies, and then you're going to have 3 agents working for you who are going to be calling you and hoping that even if you don't take this flat, you'll take a different one. So you can decide if you want to go through this process yourself or not. In the way we work at Expat Flat is we can go over here to Expat Flat. And you can click on rent, and you can kind of go through it. It's pretty much the same thing. You just tell us what you're looking for, and then in the monthly housing budget range, it will have what the commission would be if you do it through us. Regardless of what you see here on this site, the way it works is it's going to be pretty close to what it says here, and we'll always let you know right at the front end of things whether we'll be able to do it for a certain commission or not. But what happens is if you work with an agency like Expat Flat, we will represent you from the very beginning to the very end of the process, meaning we're doing the search for you. You can always check out our work on CIAN yourself. But we'll do the search, we'll organize the presentation of each flat, make sure you have a clear understanding of what it looks like. We'll go and view together, and we'll then do the negotiation for you rather than negotiation for the landlord. So that's in a nutshell how CIAN works. I hope that this tutorial kind of helps you. And you know, particularly for the lower budget flats, the commission will be a higher amount, you know, 80, 100% for some. So you can kind of decide if you want to have someone represent you or if you want to do it yourself, and maybe you'll save some money, maybe not. If you're not sure, feel free to write us at Expat Flat. Just fill out the form. We'll write you back and let you know kind of our thoughts. We'll let you know realistically what it would cost. And then you can decide if you want to hire our services or not. But in any case, whether you decide to do it yourself or you decide that you want someone like Expat Flat to represent you throughout the process, we wish you the very best, and hope you find for yourself the perfect place for your time here in Moscow. Thank you so much. Bye.